Before we go on to the next step, I'm going to show you some other ways to complete this fold. You have to go through that initial process with at least 2 sheets of paper so that you have a front and a back that you can use to make a template. What I've done is I've taken 2 sheets that I've already folded and laid them front to back, making sure that the tops of both papers are mirrored. So this is on the top, this is on the top. Top, top. You notice the bottom doesn't have the extra folds. Then I'm going to take these 2 things and I tape the sides together. Now when I tape the sides together, I actually use a little bit of overlapping paper so that the tape will not be touching anything on the inside. You do not want any tape touching anything on the inside. So you might take an extra strip of paper and fold it over there before you actually do the taping. If you look carefully, you can see the tape on the paper there that it's holding it together, and here are the 2 sides taped together. I then refold my cube, establishing all the folds in the right direction. This then becomes the template for creating the folds. I take a sheet of paper that is 10 inches, 10.5 inches, 10.5 inches by 7.5 inches. 10.5 inches by 7.5 inches. I stick it into my template. Now what I do is I round it off and stick it into the template. Bring the edges up to the corners. So I'm bringing this edge up to that corner. I bring this edge to this corner. Then I match all edges together to make sure that they're all inside there and nice and flat. Then I simply use the existing creases to reshape my T, and it can be quite a quick process once you get used to it. Then I would repeat that for all 4 cubes. When I'm finished, I can simply reshape my T shape and form the cube. I'm not going to go through that process right now. You may notice that the template is a little bit more inaccurate than folding it from scoring. If you want accuracy, score every sheet of paper. Now I'm going to show you another accurate method using a template. This time, instead of scoring, we're going to fold everything. And I'm going to start with one that has been either printed or actually scored in this case, but you need a printed rectangle of the size you want to use. You take the sheet of paper that is the same size. You fold down 3 squares on the template. You place your new sheet of paper inside the 3 squares, and because there are 7 squares total, 3 of the squares are covered up by this sheet of paper. 4 of the squares, or 4 columns, are not covered up. If I fold it in half, I have 2 columns. If I fold this back, I have 1 column. If I continue and I fold up to where this line is, I have another marker where I need to mark off a column. I can then use these folds to get all the remaining folds I need for the vertical folds. When it comes to the last 3 folds, just use the folds underneath as guidelines, and you can fold over with 4 on one side and the remaining pieces of paper on the other side, and use the folds to fold over on top. And there are all my vertical lines. You can see that I've created all my vertical lines. Now I'm going to create the horizontal lines. You know that there is 5 squares that I need here. I'm going to fold my template over by just 1. So I have 1/5 of what I need up here, or 1 row up here. I have 4 remaining rows down in the rest of the paper. When I divide it in half, I have 2 rows. When I bring it up to this line, I have 2 rows folded. When I fold back, I have 1 row folded. I can now use these lines to fold the remaining folds I need. I can fold this over to get my top row I need. I can use this as a guideline to fold the back row that I need. This folds the grid I need to fold the paper. To complete the T shape, remember how I folded the outsides at a 90-degree angle downward? All edges at a 90-degree angle. Pinch in one corner, bring to the corner. 90-degree downward, pinch in one corner, fold to the corner. Pinch inward towards the center. Pinch inward towards the center. Continue pressing down to bring the T closed. Continue pressing down to make the T closed. And you have your T shape. Form your cube. Insert the ends.